Hi, welcome to the Mel-Tran Designs podcast. I'm your host, Melissa, also known as Anansi on Ravelry. And on Plurk and Instagram, I am Mel-Tran Designs. We have a Mel-Tran Designs group on Ravelry. There's a Facebook page. I think that covers everything. You can email me, melissa@meltrandesigns.com, if you ever want to contact me. Or I check Ravelry, I don't know, multiple times a day. So feel free to PM me on there if you have anything to say. This is episode 58, and I would like to welcome any new viewers. Thank you for checking me out, and returning viewers, thank you for coming back for more. Today is Friday, September 26th, 2014, and let's get started. I actually made show notes today. They are right there on my screen because I don't know. I was already sitting here at my computer and I thought, hey, let's make some show notes. I don't know. Change things up a little bit. Sitting at my new desk again. I liked it okay last time. I don't know why the picture was small inside the screen. There was the black around it. I have no idea why it did that or how to change it. So sorry about that. Sometimes it does it and sometimes it doesn't, and I really don't know why. So anyways, starting out on happenings this week, these last couple weeks. I've been working out again, decently hard. My aunt and I are having a race. It's a 10-pound race. The first one to lose 10 pounds, the other one has to pay them $10. It's amazing the food choices that will change for $10. Not even kidding you. The self-control that comes into play for $10. And I'm like, these people in The Biggest Loser have like $250,000 at stake. I have $10 at stake, and I'm turning stuff down and maybe just having like a little piece of candy instead of like a whole package or, whatever. And anyway, hey, $10 is $10, right? So anyway, we're doing that, and I've been working out pretty regularly. I go to classes almost every day of the week, Monday through Thursday pretty much. Friday they don't have any after 12 o'clock, and that's the only time I can go. And so I don't go to any classes on Fridays, but I usually go jump on the machines and do all that kind of stuff. They have a new machine. Oh my gosh, it's called the lateral something or other. It kind of looks like a stair stepper, but your feet, instead of going up and down like this, they go side to side like this. And talk about a thigh workout. Holy crap. Not even kidding you. It's incredible. I did it for 20 minutes last night because it was my first time, and I had just done half a Zumba class. I was running so late yesterday for everything. Anyway, I still did half the Zumba class. I was like, hey, I only got half the class, so I'll jump on something for 20 minutes, and so much fun. Yeah, yesterday, this kind of goes into the next thing. Yesterday was, oh wait, I'm going to tell you the other classes I go to. Monday, there's like they call it Dance and Define. It used to be Jazzercise in that time slot, but the Jazzercise teacher retired, and they didn't have another one for the the brand name. And so you do a lot of dance type stuff, and then at the end they'll do like the resistance bands or just different things like that. And then so that's Monday. Tuesday, I go to kickboxing. Oh, so much fun, so much fun, so much fun. I kick my own butt. It's awesome. Sometimes, every so often, if I'm feeling really good, I'll stay for Zumba afterwards. Not because I'm that hardcore, just because it's a lot of fun. And I like to dance. If you've been around for any amount of time, you know that I clog. And so I like moving with the music. But these last couple weeks, she has had us doing some drills that have seriously worn me out. So I haven't been staying for that. Wednesday, though, there is Zumba at 5:45, and I go to that one. And Thursday, it alternates. Sometimes I go at 4:30 to the Zumba class because Thursday night is knit night. They do have kickboxing Tuesday and Thursdays at 7, but that's right in the middle of knit night. And so what I've been doing is either I'll go at 4:30 or I'll go at 8 because knit night actually gets over at 8, so leaving at 7:30 and heading over isn't too bad. So anyways, yeah, class is 4 days a week, and then Friday, like I said, I just go and do something else. And the weekends have been crazy, so I haven't really made it in on a Saturday. I would like to get in the habit of going. They have a few classes just on Saturday mornings, and I wouldn't mind jumping in on one of those, but it just depends, because on the Saturday, like I said, our Saturdays have just been crazy. So it looks like tomorrow I might be able to go. There's a Zumba class at 10, which is not too early, because I don't want to drag myself out of bed at like 5 on a, Saturday. So, yeah, anyway, so I'm doing that, and it's been a lot of fun, and my aunt and I actually work out together Monday and Tuesday night. We go to the same class, so, yeah, we've been having a good time. And when I say my aunt, don't picture somebody like old, because she's only, I think, 8 years older than me. So she and I are closer in age than like my kids are in age, with Quinn in the mix. So yeah, like I said, talking about how busy yesterday was, that leads into the next thing. I got my van back finally. I haven't had it since July 28th, and it took until September 25th to get it back, but it's back, and it's all in one piece and seems to be in working order. Transporting it seems to have messed up the shocks a little bit, but they're not totally shot or anything, just a little squeaky here and there. We're going to see if it, corrects itself or works itself out. If not, replacing a shock at this point is the least of my concerns after we had to replace an entire engine. So yesterday I knew there was a really good chance we'd get it back, and so instead of waiting until Eli went to school to go to the store like I usually do, I got the girls off to school and then started putting things into place for us to be able to go shopping before he went to school. We went shopping, then the battery was dead in the vehicle we've been borrowing. One of the connectors had come loose, which, anyway, I was able to fix that. But I didn't know at the time, so I'm at the store. Anyways, at the store waiting for somebody to help jumpstart me. Then I had to get gas. Then Eli was late for school. And then, it was just all day, just one thing after another after another. And then I get the call that the van's done, so I had to go to get that. And but I made pizza. It was really good. I have a really good pizza crust recipe that I make from scratch, and I made 2 of them last night. We did one that was a Hawaiian, Canadian bacon and pineapple, and the other one was pepperoni, olives, and mushrooms. So anyway, I love, 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 love homemade pizza, and we have it now. It's back in the rotation, so once a week, once every other week, something like that. So anyway, yeah, that was, and then, yeah, I pretty much was going from 6:30 a.m. when I got up with the girls until like 11:30 last night. It was crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Anyway, I think that's all it has to do with that. On Sunday or Saturday this last week, we went out to a town called Mountain Home, which is about 60 miles away. There's an Air Force base out there, and they opened it up to the public for free. And it was an event called Gunfighter Skies, and they had stunt planes going on. They had the Army paratroopers parachuting down a couple different times, and they had the Air Force Thunderbirds. If you've never seen them, look them up. I have some videos and pictures. I will most likely put them in at the end. They're F-16 fighters, and they're loud. They're seriously loud. It was really a cool opportunity. We got to go inside of a huge cargo plane, and it's one that specializes in delivering tanks. this thing, it is huge. I mean, you stand inside of it, and it's like as tall as a two-story building. I mean, it's so huge. And we got to go up in the cockpit, which was really neat. One of the pilots was sitting up there, and the kids each got to take a turn sitting in the co-pilot seat, and we got pictures of that. And my sister went with me, so I had help with Quinn because Jake couldn't go. And um, anyway, it was nice to have a second set of eyes on the kids, and especially with having the stroller, because a lot of the things you had to like climb up into the planes and stuff, and it was just nice that, some of the planes she wanted to go into, some of them I wanted to go into, but she didn't care or whatever, so we just kind of took turns going in with the bigger kids. And anyway, unfortunately we only got through like half the stuff, because it went from, well, gates opened at like 9, but everything started at 11, so we got there about 11, and it closed at 4. And we were there the whole time. We took a little break for lunch, and yeah, we didn't get to see everything. But it's okay. We had so much fun. So much fun. And it's unfortunately it's not a yearly event, so all the tips and tricks that we figured out, we can't just be like, okay, next year we'll do this or we won't do this, because it might not happen again for 8 or 9 years, because somebody was telling me that it's been about that long since it was here last time. So anyway, I'm glad we went. So glad we went. I'll finish up saying this and then go on. But I have a tendency to hear about something. I'm like, oh yeah, we'll go, but I don't tell the kids. I'm just like, I'll get them up and maybe surprise them or something. And then that Saturday morning comes around and I have to get up early, and I'm like, I don't really want to go that bad. There's going to be a lot of people there. So I just turn off my alarm and go back to sleep, and whatever, so we don't go. Well, I really wanted to go to this, but I knew I'd probably talk myself out of it. So I told the kids all ahead of time. And I talked to my sister and invited her along, way ahead of time. And because they were all so excited about it, it forced me to get everything ready Friday night. I mean, the van we were borrowing was packed and ready to go, and the food was together, and we were set. And I packed so much stuff, we could have been gone for a whole weekend. But with kids, you never know. And so I took like extra outfits for all of them, and so much food. And, I just have learned over the last 11 years that you overpack. You do. Not like excessive overpack, but instead of saying, okay, each child will want 2 granola bars, so we'll take 6. No, you just take a whole box of 24, because chances are they're going to get hungry when you don't expect it, and they're going to each eat like 4 during the day. Same thing with like the fruit snacks, or extra sandwiches, or 2 bags of 2 big bags of chips instead of 1. I would rather come home with snack food and stuff to last them for after school snacks, than them be hungry and me have to go spend $7 on a stupid funnel cake, or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, anyway, it was fun. I'd never been out to the Air Force Base before. I mean, I know it's there. I've lived here my whole life. I just have never actually been out there before, and so that was a neat experience. I'm glad we went. So anyways, okay, moving on. This is a knitting podcast, and now that we're 13 minutes in, let's talk. Going on / coming up, I am participating in the Head to Toe Knit Along that 90% Knitting podcast is doing, Lisa, Fiber Nymph. It's not too late if you want to jump in on, if you can whip up some mitts or something really fast, you could jump in on the one for this month, but it's also carrying over into October. So, and you can do the 4 months separate from each other. You don't have to participate in one to go to the next month. And October is anything for your feet and or legs. And you can do a full body item as well, and you still would have time to enter in for that. So if you want any details, head over to the 90% Knitting board on Ravelry, and she has all the details on that. But it's been a lot of fun, and I actually got 3 entries done this month. And what was the third? Oh, third. Okay. I have only one of them to show you. One I've shown. Nope, I won't be able to show you any of them. They're just going to be in pictures. The other 2. Good grief. Let me try again. 3 entries. I have one here. The other 2 were stuff for the girls. They have them, I think. Okay, Cayenne's might be over on the kitchen table, but I'm not going to go get them. I'll just put a picture on. Anyway, and then I already have what I'm going to make for next month. I'm going to do some seamless Saloma slippers because I've been wanting to make them for a very long time, and I would like a pair of slippers. So anyways, also still going on is the Year of the Q. One of my FOs here is off of my list. The Saloma slippers are also off of my list. I have a class that I'll be teaching here in a couple months that is a project off of my queue. So yeah, it's been kind of a fun commitment / challenge to do throughout this year. I'm looking forward to next year where I can just pick whatever and stuff. But it's been fun to just kind of shop from this. You know, anyway, it's been fun. Excuse me. Got a catch in my throat and like a piece of dust all at the same time. All right, that's really all I have to say about that. So let's move into works in progress. Let me put a little asterisk next to this. Most of my works in progress are going to come in the designing section because that's really all I'm doing. But I've done a few rows on a couple of kind of long-standing projects, and so I thought I'd pull them out and show you. First of all, I have these socks that I started back in February for a knit along that Lisa was doing in the 90% Knitting podcast. It was the Valentine's Day one, and I had some leftover Valentine's Day yarn of hers. So here's the first one that I finished way back. And then I stopped working on these because I've had, you know, other things that I was working on. And so randomly here and there, I'll just take them out and work on them. They did go into my purse when I had nothing else that was small enough that could go with me. This is how much I have of the second sock. So let me see too. I need to get through a third red stripe before I put in the, is it an afterthought heel? No, it's a short row heel before I do the short row heel. The stripy yarn is Fiber Nymph Dye Works, and it's the Let Me Love You colorway, one of her Valentine's colorways, and I just absolutely love it. It's super cute. And I didn't have enough because I already have a pair of these. I didn't have enough with just this yarn, so I'm using black Knit Picks, I don't know, Stroll, I guess. They're plain black sock yarn for the, as you can see, the toe, heel, and cuff, just to, I don't know, change things up a little bit, I guess. So anyway, and that's in my Valentine bag. Even though it's not Valentine's Day, I don't care. I love hearts all the time. Thought I saw a bump on my hair. The other thing that I did a little bit of work on the other night is my 10-stitch scrap blanket. And Dawn from Dawn Knit and Wolf from the Wolf Farms podcast just started one of these, and she's doing it with her sock yarn leftovers too. And hold on, I'm trying to get it turned so the needle doesn't fall out. She's doing hers on a smaller needle than I am. I'm doing mine on a size 4 just because I wanted it a more, you know, loose gauge. And she's doing hers on a 2, but there's no right or wrong. So let's see. That's what I have. Should be the right side and the left side. And then up here on the top, this red is what I'm working on right now. And what's cool is it's a really variegated yarn, but because you're only doing 10 stitches at a time, it's actually striping with the red and the darker purpley red. And it is, this particular yarn is from Sassy Sheep. It's her Socky Sheep base, and I actually have a good sized ball of it left over from some socks that I made for her as a shop sample. So my guess, if I had to guess, is that I will not only finish this edge with it, but I might even, I'll probably get through 2 edges, if not 3, with how much I have. So that's pretty cool. And I only have 2 other yarns in my bag right now, just because I'm actually going to have to move the blanket into a larger, a larger bag. Oh, crap! I am going to have to leave you for a second. I have an FO that I have not shown you, I think. Shoot. Did I have my vest done in the last episode? I don't think I did. Okay, yeah, I'm going to have to run and get it because I have, my vest is done. I'm sorry. Anyways, the other 2 yarns that I have is some Care Bear with Fangs in here from 716 Knit, and this yarn that the person that dyed it, it doesn't matter because I wouldn't recommend them, and I don't even really like the yarn all that much, but it'll look good in the blanket. So anyway, I'm not even going to fold that up. It's living in one of my 31 zipper pouches, and it's, I mean, it fits fine, but it's really, it's getting close to outgrowing it. So that is all I have that's not designing on the needles. I'll show you my 1FO here. I do have a hat that I'm working on designing, and I finished one, but the yarn that I chose doesn't look good with the pattern, and I knew it wouldn't. I needed to use that gauge of yarn, and it's all I had. So I'm not going to show it to you because it looks really stupid. And that doesn't reflect well on me. So I'm not going to show you. The other FO I have is my circle mitts. I really love these. The pattern is not written the greatest, but it's just a free pattern on somebody's blog, so you know it hasn't been tested and all that. Mine look a little different, not only because I used variegated instead of self-striping, but mine have kind of these wedges here. Oops. There and there. But yeah, they go like this. She tells you to move where you're doing the increases so that there aren't wedges. My brain was going to get really technical and really anal about it. So instead of that, I was like, I'm just going to have wedges, and I'm totally okay with that. And I really like how it turned out. So something that's really neat is that because it's coming out like this and your hand naturally comes out, it hugs that part of your hand. So anyway, this yarn is 716 Knit in her sock, 716 sock, and it's the We Don't Have Cable, so we have to make our own fun colorway that I got at Zombie Knit Apocalypse 2013, the very first one. And I'm very happy with it. And I have quite a bit of yarn left over, so I'll be able to make some socks or something fun. So anyway, I'm going to leave you for a second. It'll just take me maybe 10 seconds to run and get my vest. I know exactly where it is. So just take a drink of your water, your tea, or whatever you're drinking, knit a couple stitches, and I'll be right back. I'm back. Okay, so the vest is done. It's been washed and dried and hanging out in my room. It does not have buttons on it yet, but that's all right. Yeah. Let me get a hold of it here. Sorry. The front lays very nicely. The yarn relaxed really well. This is the buttonhole band side. And I love this because it's just so nice and straightforward. It's just stockinette with some ribbing at the bottom, and then, you know, ribbing at the arms, and the neck kind of stands up. Like I said, I don't have buttons on it yet because I don't know what ones to put on. Did I show this last time? Now I'm wondering if I did. Oh, well, you could see it again if I did. I remember talking about the color change in it, but I know I did that before before I finished it as well. I wish that my camera had autofocus. I need to save up some money and upgrade it, but the stitches, oh yeah, you can see it. The stitches are just gorgeous. The stitch definition, and this yarn is so luscious. 716 knit in her 716 Boss base. It's the Magnolia sweater vest, Magnolia vest. Free pattern on Ravelry. Now I'm thinking I might have shown it. Either way, now I have shown it for sure, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, we're gonna move on. I do have another FO, but it's a design, so I'll show that to you. Do you remember the blue shawl that I made for Anansi just a few weeks ago that I was talking about? This is that same pattern. It's my newest pattern that has kind of been released. There's a pattern page on Ravelry. It's called As I Go Along. There's a pattern page on Ravelry that right now all you get is just kind of a cover letter saying thank you for your purchase, because it hasn't been tested yet, but I wanted to give it away this month while I was advertising on Ravelry. So any Mel-Tran Designs pattern purchase in the month of September, you get this pattern for free. I do have it ready to go to testers. I'm actually in the process of typing up the request template for the free pattern testers group. It's kind of time intensive because they're very thorough with their request process. So anyways, that should go up today. If not today, then tomorrow. It depends on how the rest of this afternoon turns out and whatnot. Anyways, I'm really excited about it. It's a really pretty little shawl, and it takes only about 250 yards. You can make it bigger if you want, and I talk about that in the pattern, but the exact version I have in my hand only took 250 yards of a DK weight. So without further ado, here it is. I used Malabrigo Silky Merino in the something or other colorway. I don't remember. And what I actually did, these two skeins were incredibly different from each other. So the first skein goes down to the bottom, and then the second skein is the bottom picked up. And you can see there's a lot more purple towards the bottom and a lot more yellows and golds at the top. But like I said, the exact same color. But it's okay because I knew that because of the direction change at the bottom, I wasn't too worried about it. It's a decently good-sized shawl for the small amount of yards that you use. I measured it, and it was, let's see if I can remember correctly, 48 inches across by about 17 inches tall. It's not meant to be a huge shawl. And like I said, I have directions in the pattern that say how to make it bigger if you'd like. It's really just a shoulder cover, you know, for during the summer, or if you work in an office that likes to keep things cool. You know, it covers, you know, just covers your shoulders and the top of your arm there. And like I showed before, you can actually, Gwen's starting to squirm. You can actually hold it closed here if you had a shawl pin or a crochet hook sitting close by. You could just put it through the holes, and then it would stay on you nicely. You can see that. So anyway, I really like it. You really could knit it in any weight of yarn that you wanted. I think it would be great for hand spun because the edging it's just kind of a garter stitch base edging. I do have this edging plus 4 other options written onto the pattern, so you'll have some different things to play with, and then you can, if you like kind of the body of it and then just want to throw a different edging on, you can do that, and you can even make up your own if you are so inclined. So anyway, that will be going out to testers, like I said, today, at the latest tomorrow, and then the testing will be done in a couple weeks. So then the full pattern will be sent out to the people who received it, and then it's available for purchase now, but then it'll be, you'll get the actual pattern with the purchase. So anyway, there's that. Next, I have this hat. I talked about it last time, that my friend texted me a picture and said, "Hey, my daughter wants this hat. Do you think you can figure out what it is from this picture?" And it's a commercially made hat. Sure, okay. So I have, and that's what I have the FO of that I didn't want to show you. And I have another one over there, and this is the one I've been working on today because she wanted to do it worsted weight with a strand of fingering weight held with it. So that's kind of what I'm playing with. This isn't, the ribbing isn't actually on here. I just grabbed and picked up for the body. So anyway, it looks pretty cool with the two colors together. It's still a work in progress. It's not quite what I want. It just doesn't, I know it's not going to be exactly the same, but it's just not quite right. So anyways, that's kind of what I've set my mind to work on today, because I told her 2 days ago, I'm going to sit down and work on it this afternoon, and I haven't really knit since then. So I unintentionally lied to her, so I'm making up for it by focusing on it today and talking to you guys, of course. The other thing I'm working on is another shawl. That's about all I'm going to tell you about it right now. As far as details, it will be a mystery knit along in the future, and I think you will be very excited about it. I'm really excited about it. There's just a lot of math going into it. I will also tell you, I guess, that it's going to be a semicircle, a half pie style shawl. So that you'll need like a solid or semi-solid for. So anyway, it's going to be fun. And some mitts, the ones that I made for Cayenne that I entered into the thing. Where's those? Where is those? I am working on an adult size pair, and it's funny, I went and grabbed this yarn, and in my head it wasn't Halloween looking because it's the yarn I got from Heather of Highland Handmaids when I went to Knitting in the Mitten last year. It's she had these 5 colorways, and we got to choose one of them for free, but just for going to the retreat. And it was one of the colorways that was there, and it's called Toasting Marshmallows. And it's orange and white, and not a, I mean, it's black, but not like solid black. It's more like a charcoal gray. And I grabbed it because I was like, I don't know what else to use this yarn on, but I really like it. So I wound it up, and the orange is turning yellow on my screen. So it's kind of a yellowy orange, but it's definitely orange. That's not reflecting. Oranges and reds are weird on cameras, and so maybe it'll, nope, just turn it more yellow. All right, well, I promised you that it's orange. That's so weird. Like orange. Does that help? Oh, that kind of helps. But yeah, it's orange. Anyway, so because it calls for a worsted weight, I'm holding it doubled. And this is what I have so far. I'm not going to show you any of the details because I'm still working those out. But it's garter stitch, as you can tell. So anyway, that's something else I've been working on, and it's kind of nice to just work in garter stitch. I'm not gonna lie, it's squishy and nice and so mindless. So it's been enjoyable. And let me show you. Let me see. I have this shawl that you can't really see a whole lot, but there's what I have started. It's mainly just a note with a little picture because I know what it is. And I have the mitts that I'm working on now, and I have the hat that I'm working on, and I have the shawl that I just told you about. Anything else? Oh, and a possible idea if things work out for a different shawl. Kind of a base idea on that page. A pair of socks that I started designing months ago that I just put down. So many designs. So look for that coming up. A lot of that. I will also have my slippers coming up because October starts what, Wednesday? Tuesday. Wednesday of next week. I get to cast on my slippers. I'm so excited. And then the sweater, like I said, the class that I'll be teaching soon. So anyway, lots of stuff coming up. No spinning whatsoever. I look at my wheel and go, oh, I want to spin. Or I look at my Lazy Kate that's sitting right over here that has one bobbin out of the 4 because I want to do a true 4-ply because I never have. And I'm like, oh. But I won't take the time to sit and spin because my sitting and doing anything time is so limited with my demanding little baby. And so I feel like I would be wasting my very precious designing time by spinning. And I know things will change. I'm not worried about it. Seasons change in your life, and this season started over for me. Thought I was done with this season, but that's all right. That's how life goes. So anyway, and I have sitting here Dave Ramsey, who if you've been watching, you know that we're working through our way through the Total Money Makeover. He says that millionaires read the average millionaire reads one nonfiction book a month. And he said that he had a friend that made it a goal to read 2 nonfiction books a month because he wanted to be a 2 millionaire. But anyways, I don't think I will ever be a millionaire off of my pattern sales or off of the teaching of my classes, and I'm okay with that. But going along the lines of successful people read a nonfiction book a month, especially in their field. If you're in finance, you read finance books, blah, 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 blah. So there aren't a ton of knitting books that are just for reading, but I have one that I haven't finished, and I checked this one out from my local library, Elizabeth Zimmerman's Knitter's Almanac. And if you're going to read anyone to be successful about knitting, this is the woman to read. And I love this book. I haven't actually sat down and read it. I've just kind of looked through it so far, and I think I've looked through it a couple of times in my life. But it's very conversational, and that's what I love. So, and this is the commemorative edition that came out just a few years ago. Anyways, I had to actually I was waitlisted for this, and I only have it for maybe another week. But if you haven't ever read Elizabeth Zimmerman's stuff, you really should try to get your hands on it. It's absolutely amazing. The woman was so cool, and just she just lays it out there, like, well, this and this makes this. Of course, that's what happens because you're doing this, and it's just so very commonsensical, which is what I like. Because to me, knitting is so, oh, what am I trying to say? To me, knitting just makes sense. My brain just does it. It understands it, it does it, it just works. And so when I read her stuff, I'm like, yes, that's exactly it, you know, and stuff like that. So anyways, it's a lot of fun. So if you have the chance to get your hands on any of her books through your library or from a friend or go out and buy them, Knit Picks is having their book sale, their semi-annual or whatever, 40% off book sale. And I know a couple of her books are in their library of books that you can buy from. So anyway, and for those of you who will yell at me if I don't let you peek at Quinn, I will move this as little as possible here. She's down laying in the swing. Let's see if I can. There you go. My phone is on her because it has some white noise. I'm going to go. It has some a white noise app, and she likes to listen to the water, and it helps to drown out my voice. I actually sat here and was like just talking in general to make sure she wasn't going to wake up from me talking instead of me watching like a show. And so I was like just saying what I was doing as I was setting up, like, oh, I'm going to put the book here and I'm going to put my mitts down because I wanted to see if she was going to wake up. But anyway, I know I'm goofy. All right, I'm going to let you go. 41 minutes in. I will put pictures from this weekend up. Pictures. I'm going to write myself a note. Pictures. Hopefully I remember. And I will tell you to have a good week and keep knitting. Bye.